YouTube, this is the final Meta Weekly before the new pack with top tier Yummy. And we're going to start this off with the man, with the plan. As on this Thursday on twitch.tv/DK, we're going to have the $1,000 tournament qualifier with the new Yummy top tier deck. So get ready for that. By watching as long as you can, that greatly supports these events. Hajime.
There can only be one winner, and you're looking at it. Let's go.
We're going second, and we have no hand traps whatsoever. Full turn one power Maliss. Whoa, there we go, Nibiru. Welcome to the party after they summoned 50 freaking times. Anubis Last Judge, come to me, the man. As Droll Knockbird is going to make it so the man cannot search for the field spell that we already have, so that's okay. We're going to set onto the field the Apophis Swamp Deity. Crimson Tear is here to get negated and banished. Now, Engraver can still attempt to search if it weren't for Droll. Okay, well, that's a problem. And now they're going to banish cards from the player's graveyard. They're going to be able to non-target banish one of our traps on the field. They know exactly where the deity is. And if they set deity and not the Apophis Serpent, then you should deduce that the other card is the Serpent Apophis, right? Thus, we banish the hidden card. And if this card is known, and you know that it needs another continuous trap to even do anything, for sure, this does nothing. NTP with the non-target banish. And then we have the Ignister to now negate Nibiru. It's over. Ohimi, finish him. All right. Yeah, post-banless Maliss. Deck's pretty good still. The big question is, with a player like Ohimi missing 2 White Rabbit and 2 Allure of Darkness, what are those 4 additional cards now? Maybe another hand trap. Maybe Signet Mining. Oh, what the shifter? Wait, you can't shift now, mate? You did not shift early on. What the? Okay, you spared me. Thank you. We are going to Engraver search for Tract. All these cards would be banished. The Lurie would get banished. Why did we had to toggle on? Maybe he doesn't have the duel settings where it's automatically toggled on at the start of the duel. And you should ensure that not only at the start of a duel that your toggle's on, but also every time your opponent ends their turn, the toggle switches back to on. This is our normal summon. We can't special summon it since we have the Juro Storm. Droplet's going to negate the Terratop from searching for the Take Tomborg. And from here, what can we do exactly? March Hare banishing the TB. Let's turn the Terratop into Almirage. We now have a Cyburst and a Cyburst. With 2 Cybursts, only then can we make the Splash Mage that should be banned possibly. Reborn it, come forth, White Binder. If Ransom were not banned, we would have made Ransom, then the Purge would have been able to negate. So we accidentally make the correct play to play around Purge. Setting up the GWC, access the codes, and damn. We lost to an Ash? Well, you know, Bystial and Ash. All right, so double disruption, didn't need the shifter. Let's go. Begin. 1 of Allure of Darkness, limited to 1. We got Signet Mining to replace the other copies of Allure and the White Rabbit. Banish the March Hare. Let's speed this up. March Hare, add back. Let's go Maliss, let's freaking go. We're under Fool Loss though. Discard the Dormouse, special summon from the hand, banishment or graveyard is okay. Again, banish the Chessie. If we only want to link once, that's it. Make the White Binder, no more summoning from the deck or extra deck. Set up MTP. Oh, we're still going. Allied Code Talker Ignister. Sure. We do get impermanence though. That could be quite unfortunate. And, you know, you could say that was a bit greedy. Well, we do have the Sign Up Mining, which could give us a March Hare at least. There we go. We need the March Hare to be able to banish the White Binder, to then reborn it back, draw a card, and MTP. Now, is this denied from being a disruption? No. All it needs is a Link monster to point to. So if you can't cut off the March Hare banishing White Binder to then reborn to where this is pointing to, then you're in big trouble. And looking at this hand, I don't see it. We got heavy freaking slump. So this is quite contentious. A lot of people say this card is nuts. A lot of people say this card is garbage and it's cope. If your opponent has 8 or more cards in their hand, they shuffle their entire hand into the deck, then draw 2 cards. So the theory is, if you're going first and the opponent max Cs or full losses you let them draw like crazy. They draw like crazy, and then on their turn, they're gonna have more than 8 cards. You heavy slump their cards back in the deck. Now, even better is you don't allow them to draw 2. So how this works is, if we put them under the effect of Draw and Lockbird states that you cannot add cards in the deck to the hand. Thus, this card would not be legally activatable under the effect of Draw. That's it. You can't activate this. But if in response to them adding a card from the deck to the hand where you can draw, you don't draw. You activate Heavy Slump in response to them adding, and then you chain Draw to your own Heavy Slump. Now, Heavy Slump's gonna resolve as much as possible. It's gonna return their hand back in the deck, and then when it tries to draw 2, it can't. So now they have 0 cards in their hand. So this stops it from even being activatable if you mess up the timing with activating this, or it could just turn off the draw 2 portion of the effect. Let's go. Goblin Bedurg is going to, I believe, summon from the deck, right? And then March Hare is going to set up the full play. This is going to be a non-target banish. We're going to draw a card. We're going to have a negate. We have an impulse on top of that mate. We didn't draw in a hand trap. So after banishing from the graveyard, what do we have here? We can negate a special summon, negate anything, and non-target banish in addition to our max C. Triple disruption. Let's see what's good. Now, going second, obviously the Heavy Slump is not so good, but if we lose this game, maybe we could hopefully see something cool happen with it. Technically, there's, it works against 5 cards, right? 2 maxi, 3 full loss. Negate the cross out Desig freaking Nate. Not today. By trading off the White Binder though, now that MTP is not a non-target banish. So we lose out on that. We still have Impulse. MTP is going to be adding from the deck without banishing. Come to us, White Rabbit, as it's taken out by the Tornado Dragon. Now, let's Do Warrior send from the deck. Go Glove. We're going to Impulse, not just negate, but also destroy. Now, it was still a cost to get the Go Glove into the graveyard. And this states if you control a Go or Doo-Doo, you could special summon this from the grave. How do we get to a Go or Doo-Doo? We have a Gaga and a Doo-Doo. Now we're gonna summon the Gaga, but that's not a Doo-Doo. And so we need a Go or a Doo-Doo, not a Gaga. Now we're gonna reborn, and we do have, in fact, a Go. Now let's turn them into a Banshee. Banshee is going to be searching our deck, and we don't care under the effect of Maxi because we do have that Heavy Slump. For the searching, now we go into the Duo Drive to bridge our way into Ryzeal. This is it. Ash Blossom, negate. Now, Ash can negate Heavy Slump. So the idea is this would not be ashable in order for it to be good. So if you're playing through a Maxi or Full Loss, you're setting up something that can negate an Ash. Let's Sword, searching for the Star Ryzeal, and that card that would negate the Ash would be the Field Spell. Field Spell, negate Ash as we Heavy Slump their entire hand back in the deck. Banish from the grave, say goodbye, Magnum Hut, search within the end phase, let's flip up the cross, to battle we go, clear up the field. I thought we'd have to wait another duel to see if Heavy Slump would be good, but we're actually gonna find out right now. We're gonna, now we don't have Draw and Lockbird for the ultimate combo to ensure that they don't get to draw at all, but they're gonna lose their whole freaking hand. There's no way that we're winning with Heavy Slump. I think we are. This is it. Heavy freaking Slump. Drew a Swarm, banished from the graveyard. And remember, Heavy Slump is not supposed to be good if you're going second. And we went second, and we're Heavy Slumping. Ash negate, we got the crossmate. Again, you gotta have something to negate it. We, on the resolution, negate the Ash. Return the entire hand. March Hare is not activatable in the draw phase. Return 12 cards back in the deck, then draw 2. Let's freaking go. We could pop, 4 pops. And that's it, we have 4 pops. We now have 3. Take out the backup Ignister. Come to us, March Hare. We have a Dormouse to banish from the graveyard. Come forward, we could banish the White Binder even better. With 2 more pops, we're gonna take out the March Hare. White Binder, draw a card here, banishing 3 cards in the graveyard, detonate, wipe out the White Binder mate. We only have 1 more pop, and that is it. With our cards being banished, they're all triggering. We're gonna add back the March Hare, Reborn Chessie, and the Dormouse. Dormouse banish. Chessie can freaking draw 2 if we want to. The final pop has happened. 0 disruption left. Draw 2 with the Chessie, make the Splash Mage, Reborn back. Tornado's gonna take out the TB11 before they have a mouse on field to banish it to activate. Is that game? Is it over? Let's make Transcode Talker further link this up into an access code talker, triggering the Druid Swarm to send a card from the field to the grave that's a special summon monster. Now, the detonator has no protection. They have nothing. There's no lingering. There's no continuous effect. There is absolutely nothing. Banish away a dark. We can't banish a dark again. We could banish away a water. Banish away an earth. Do we have Splash Mage? Or Almirage? Almirage is a fire. We do not. Take out the Banshee, and we're ending on 0 disruption. Now, in the hand, we secretly have Droll and Lockbird. We also have Max C. At 600 life, we cannot trigger a banished White Binder. It costs 900 to come back out onto the field. Now, what about the little Maliss cards? We could banish just 1. 1 can be banished to be reborn back. Red reboot off the top. Isn't Doo-Doo Warrior full combo? Let's freaking go. We didn't chain Max C. We're gonna be using the Droll, right? Okay, wait. What does this say? If you activate this from the hand, you cannot activate Droll or Max C or Nibiru or Veiler for the rest of this duel. We cannot activate these. They are illegal. That's it. Okay. Laplation. Discard the Droll. Get rid of the access code talker. How did he win this? Heavy slump. He heavy slumped. No freaking way. Gianna, that's like a YouTube thumbnail. Let's go. We just came back from Duel 1, where Heavy Slump won the duel, returning 12 cards back into the deck. Ash negates Signet Mining, which you're now more susceptible to an Ash. How do we deal with this? Non-target banish, non-target banish. Untargetable, co-linked. We have the Ignister, which is going to negate and banish. Now we're negating the activation of the Tachyon, thus another copy would be activatable if we had it. Reinforce our hand with the Goblin Bedurg. We also have Impulse as another form of disruption. Impulse with a Trap and Grave. Negate and destroy. Are we done? We have not. We already used up our normal summon. Reveal Gaga Girl, summon the Gonbaro Knight as we then scoop it up. No heavy slump for you. What's happening in game 3? Dimension shift it up right away. Ain't no way. We have Retaliating Sea because of Dracotail. Come to us, X Ryzeal. Now, X Ryzeal has to send an extra deck monster to the graveyard in order to special summon. Thus, not legally special summonable, but we could still normal. Normaling to search for the sword. We're going to use the Fua loss as we cross out, designate, negate the Fua. Not today. Negate. Now, backup Ignister, when it adds a Dormouse and discards it, you need a way to banish her. Not if you're under Shifter. Shifter is the way to banish her. Just normaling backup Ignister right away, banish Dormouse, and it's back out onto the fields. But we're gonna have to deal with a cross, we're gonna have to deal with a detonate. This is gonna be a monster negate plus pop 2. Triple disruption. Now, triple tactics talent should be great. Sign it, mining, discard whatever our newly drawn card could be a play. Let's see what happens. Normal the backup. We are popping it, but are we also negating it with the cross? Say goodbye to the backup. Is it negate? We did not negate. We can negate the Dormouse instead. They add the door, they banish the door. The hard once per turn of summoning door gets negated. Triple tactics talent. Going for the draw 2 as we have one more pop on the detonator. We already used up our normal summon. Signet mining, searching for a March Hare is not going to be a play because we have nothing engraved to banish. Is this it? Anamo Takage is activating to reborn itself back in the field, called the Grey Finger the Kage, and we now are able to activate the Fua loss. But, I mean, they got... Okay, is this game? It's not game. What the heck? What are you leaving them at? Well, it may as well be game, right? Well, at 400 life, they could activate one Banish Maliss. Not a big Maliss, not one from the extra deck. And we do have to deal with just one pop. That's it. No more disruption outside of Droll and Lockbird. Now, on adding, the Signet Mining will no longer be activatable. Wizard could special summon a Cyburst from Engrave. So can we make our big play off of Reborn via Chi-Chi? Wait, is a Chi-Chi even rebornable? Target a Dark Cyburst only. Dark Cyburst, a Chi-Chi ain't dark, and just like that, with not being able to use the Signet Mining, we're done. All right. So, yeah, we definitely messed up. To play around Droll, the thing is, Droll creates a paradox where to be a good player, I feel like you're supposed to use your lesser effects first to eat up bait, right? You want to eat up an Ash and all that good stuff. But because of Droll, the inverse is true. You want to use your better effects first, or they're going to Droll your worse effect, and then your better effect now can't be used. Dracotail's got the big target on its back to main deck, side deck cards against, to play decks with a favorable matchup. Let's speed up their turns. This is crazy because of Master Duel being a hyperbolic time chamber, of so many duels happening within such a short time span that this deck is less than 1 month old and we are already sick to death of it. And that's why with Yummy coming out this week, it's going to shake some things up. Now we can return a face-up card back. We can negate a spell. We could Famina Fuse. Triple disruption. Urgula, which could pop a key to. Follow-up play if we want to count that as a disruption. We could say it's at 4. Now we're in a situation. Non-target negate, non-target pop. So the Hieratic Seal can dodge all of that, and then the newly summoned monster would be popped or negated, right? No, because it will activate on a separate chain link. After these cards resolve, the newly summoned monster could come out. Let's do it. Get the Arthalion out of here. Negate, nothing. Destroy, nothing. And Arthalion, return back the Ash. And what was the other card we targeted? We targeted with the Arthalion. I don't even know. I don't see it in the duel log. But we only targeted Ash. Okay. We have our Ash after being added back to the hand, being able to negate the flame. And we have Malulu being summoned from the deck, ready to fuse with our hand at any time we want. Which, Malulu as the non-turn player will be able to negate something that you're in responding to that would result in a trigger. So if I branded Fusion, you generally are summoning something that's going to trigger. So if you branded Fusion and I activate Malulu to fuse with Malulu, what's going to happen is Malulu will negate whatever you summon on the higher chain link in response to a Lubellion or the Albion. We have Urgula popping a back row, Femina setting from the deck. Use up into our own Gulamel. It's very important that we chain link block the opposing player's Gulamel, potentially. Got the Rahu already activated this turn. Key 2 already activated. Both our spells have been used up. Say goodbye to the Sting. Take out the Malulu. You have the Horn and the Flame plus the Femina add back. Magnum Hut is going to be banishing away the Malulu. Now, what's crazy is Urgula and Femina not being light or dark, but if any of them were, by getting rid of Urgula or Femina, they both stop the add back of Femina. Within the end of the main phase, we're going to activate Femina, chain our Gulamel directly to our Femina to wipe away the Flame. We know the other cards just, wow. We just know that we're going to lose the resource battle after that. Well done to both of you on that. Let's keep on going. Key 2, Dracotail, come to us, Femina. And, you know, a card like Impulse, we have to slowly semi-limit and limit that one card to 1 because the good decks are abusing it, where the bad decks would be allowed to use it. You know, yep. Double the freaking Fua. Ain't no way. Let's do it. Come forth, Arthalion. Arthalion's going to be adding 2 cards in the graveyard back to the hand. Target, target. Trigger the Femina. Set from the deck. We getting ready to sting. Design better cards. Well, that's what they're trying. That's what the new hand trap that came out is supposed to be, a better designed card where they set up a ton of restrictions to ensure that only a bad synchro deck can use it. Now, maybe the card's so good that a bad synchro deck's gonna be top tier with it. That's something, right? Rahu, Dracotail, fuse on resolution, sending the Urgula from the deck and the Femina from hand. Come forth, Gulamel. Femina and Urgula are going to be triggering together. So I'm on the fence of, I don't know if K9 is good design or bad design. Is the fact that K9 is too techable in any deck going to be a bad thing? Is Femina better card design than K9, where Femina is just for Dracotail and K9 is not just for K9? You can put K9 in anything for your turn 0 plays. We are going to be permanently negating the Secretarion. It's not just for the turn. Also taking out the Key 2 Dracotail. Let's now Magnum Hut, banish away the Cartesia to not add back during the end phase. Add back the Femina. Now, you have to understand that if we're trying to say that something not being used and abused in multiple different decks is a good thing for it to not happen, it makes Konami more money when it does happen. Impulse, I think, was a $100 card. You tell me, maybe it's a $30 card. If multiple decks want to be able to use the K9 cards, the Impulse cards, DPE, Adventure System, that's a great way for Konami to make big money, especially putting Fiendsmith in multiple different decks. Cartesia, fuse, 8, up, chain, the Max C. Konami is trying to avoid what I would say is the Dragon Link problem. The Dragon Link problem is a dedicated fan base of players that stick to one deck that forever doesn't really get new support because they didn't know what to do with the deck, to the point where they had to just nerf the deck because you fools wouldn't stop playing Dragon Link. You weren't buying the new cards. They weren't making money off of you. You were just flooding the servers. You were just taking up RAM space on it with a deck that you bought years ago. But after nerfing your deck continually, now they are going to be able to squeeze you for money as they are releasing what I'm seeing, a lot of new Dragon Link cards. Gulamel, wipe out the back row card as the Horn returns back the Lucius. Let's follow up with the Rahu. Using the deck Pan, Pan's going to be able to pop a card in the field. as the Malulu is going to non-target negate permanently whatever we want. Chaos Ruler did nothing wrong, true. And just like that, Abdo has controlled the duel. We have the ability to return back a monster, negate a spell, and we have a non-negated Secretarion, which prevents the opponent from activating their special summon monsters. We could Sting the Graveyard. We could Gulamel pop a card in the field. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 disruptions. We are summoning Arthalion, which cannot activate. Now we're going to trigger engrave our own Arthalion and Gulamel to reborn back. Malulu is going to non-target negate a card in the field as the Lucius further sets from the deck. So we're going to set 2 cards. In addition to, we're going to want to negate the Secretarion or the Gulamel. What do we negate here? Probably the Secretarion. It's floodgating us. Let's get rid of that nonsense. And this is where we find out what the negate will be. We are, in fact, negating their floodgate. Let's reborn back our Arthalion. The Gulamel did get banished. We did stop one of them. Since you were not able to chain link block the Horn, we could chain directly to it to get rid of a back row card. You summoned your Arthalion in attack position. We're going to... So here's a situation. Your monsters from the grave, their fusions, it's a good idea to summon them in attack position to try to trick them to use Horn on it, because Horn will not be able to draw a card, since the card has to be returned back to the hand or extra deck in order to draw a card. If it banishes instead, which is what would happen, that is why you'd want to have that there, and Abdo understands that. That's why Abdo's not returning the opposing Arthalion, he's returning his own to ensure that he could draw a card. Thus, he draws into Lucius. How so? Did you understand now what I was saying? Little Knight banishing away the flame. And let's now Rahu Dracotail fuse it up. Arthalion's going to be targeting our in-grave Veiler to return back. Urgula's going to non-target wipe away a back row card. Say goodbye to the Kitu. Abdo was winning this. Abdo had 5 disruptions. What the heck's going on? He had board presence. He's got nothing on the field now. What's going on? We have Femina, we have Veiler, we have Flame Spell Negate, we have Little Knight Chain Banish. We have 4 forms of disruption. What do we do? Urgula, add back our own Femina. Sure. Committing to the Cartesia Fusion Summon. Let's come forth and go into an Arthalion to add back Max C and Ash Blossom. Reddit is so upset about this combo of being able to add back your Max C. They think for this reason alone, the card should be freaking banned. Now, maybe in a Genesis Point or Duel Links like ban system, the deck wouldn't even be able to play Max C. Little Knight, banishing away itself, plus the Cartesia. Let's go. As we now resolve this fusion summon into a Mysterion. Mysterion is ready. If a monster is summoned onto the field, we could target that monster, banish it, and then banish all other copies of the same type. We have the Rahu and the Kitu. We're going to destroy the Arthalion. Come back to me, Maxi and Ash Blossom. Don't mind if I do. Kitu Dracotail, as we finally now get to Flame. Flame on. Try to negate the Kitu. Ash negate the negate mate. No negate, no draw 1 mate. Let's go. Add on resolution. We can fuse if we want to. We're not going to. We're going to Rahu in addition. And we still have Femina. With the Femina, we are ready. We have not used the Arthalion effect. We have not used Gulamel yet. Now, in response to the Gulamel popping Arthalion, that's when we're going to have to Femina. Should we just let him activate, then chain, instead of chain link blocking it? Because now you give it an opportunity to still be activatable within this turn, right? Now, Femina is a spellcaster, and it summoned a spellcaster. So, if a spellcaster summoned a spellcaster, target that spellcaster to then banish it, then banish all spellcasters on the field. Okay. Gulamel. What if Yusuf is trying to trick him? He's telling Abdo, oh no, don't banish my Mysterion, which will then banish your Gulamel and banish your own Mysterion. We're going to find out if it triggers. Is this it? Is he going to use its effect? Now, Arthalion will survive the banishment. He passed. He didn't. He chose the Arthalion. He banished it. And then Abdo, did you run out of time? What the heck happened? What? Time limit? No way. That is crazy. Arthalion is here. We have no hand traps whatsoever, but thanks to Konami having a built-in board break-like effect within Key 2 Dracotail, we stand a chance. What I have not been seeing from Dracotail today is, where is your hard-drawn branded fusion? Of course you're still playing it. Gulamel, I mean, you are, right? Let's see. He's not. Yusuf is not playing branded fusion. Huh? What about Abdo? What? These two top players are not on branded fusion? We're playing more hand traps instead? What's going on? We're now ditching branded fusion. They may tell you that branded fusion is a win more card. Malulu. Negate. They just want to play more non-engine. You could argue that the Droll would be a branded fusion tech card. This could have been an Albaz instead. Let's negate the Rahu plus draw an additional card into that Max C. Don't mind if I do. Key 2 Dracotail in response. Let's Max C. Chaining the Malulu. We're going to be using the Gulamel directly to our Malulu to take out the opposing Malulu that is negated. Wipe it out. As we fuse into our own Arthalion. Now our Key 2 Dracotail on resolution of adding the Femina, we could optionally fuse, and we are going with that option, of course. Let's now resolve everything. Lucius Urgula is going to set 2 cards as we pop a back row card. The opposing player Malulu's activating, which is why we didn't even bother activating our own Arthalion. We passed. Because on the higher chain link, Malulu is just going to negate it. Now, making sure to sting, banish away the Urgula so it cannot recycle back a Femina or a Lucius. Get that trash out of here. Randomly draw into a Max C to be used on the next freaking turn. Ain't no way. Is the winner of the Dracotail Mirror whoever can initially gain access to their Max C, then continually recycle it with Arthalion? Are we at that point where we're just focusing on the Max C? Femina, activate. Fuse it up into our Star Source Dragon. Star Source, pop 1 card in the field, taking out the flame. To battle we go, bigger than the Gulamel, as we now go with Plan L. Non-target, return a card back, but the Veiler can negate, and it does, mate. No Typhon for you. Now, you would think with the Typhon negated, you could now perform other summons. Nope, it's a lingering effect. You still cannot special summon for the rest of the turn. We have Horn, we have Sting, we could return back in attack position. We have to draw... Here's the thing. You may be led to believe that we just have to draw a Dracotail to use a Femina. Well, a Dracotail fusion requires that Dracotail plus a monster in the hand. So not only do we need a Dracotail, we also need a monster. So both of these draws have to be good. If one of these draws whiff, then Femina is dead. Let's see what's good as we're going to pan trigger Gulamel Reborn from the graveyard. Make sure you don't use Horn on the Gulamel from engrave, otherwise you don't get to draw. Let's Sting, banish the Gulamel, Ash negate, and if we needed both of these cards, then now we can't use Femina. Femina is now dead. Horn, return back the Arthalion. Let's draw in. Hey, if we're going to draw into 1 card, then Nibiru may be the card we wanted. Will they commit to 5 summons? Let's find out. Now, the Typhon turns off Nibiru. So Abdo's going to be nice enough to destroy the Typhon to ensure that we can activate Nibiru. And Nibiru's not good against Dracotail. It's good against everything else. I'm sure we took out branded cards to make room for a card like Nibiru, and that's it. I think it's quite interesting that we stopped playing Nibiru, we stopped playing Droll Knockbird because it's not good against Dracotail. And people are like, damn, you're not going to play Droll? Okay, I'm going to play Mitsurugi, Ryzeal, and dominate if you won't play Droll. And then now they're having to put Droll back in their decks, even though it's not good in the mirror match, because we can't let Mitsurugi and Ryzeal go uncontested without freaking Droll. 2-1, let's go. And then in the end, if there's only so much room to put in enough counters for every existing deck type, then I guess it inevitably leads us into not having room for branded fusion. Begin. Abyss Pike. This is a deck you play when people are not playing Droll, and if they're not playing Droll, it's because of Dracotail. But then people started playing Mitsurugi and Ryzeal because of that, so people are now putting Droll back in, which then counters this deck. What do? It's all random. Who cares? Just play whatever you want. Dragoons, come to me. Dragoons, trigger engrave, searching for the minstrel to look at that hand. Well, we're under the effect of Fluid Loss, so hand ripping is not so good if we're going to continually be adding cards to their hand through special summoning. As long as it's not from the deck or extra deck, we're okay. Now, what we need here is we need exactly 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 engraved to special summon the Elemental Lord to randomly discard 2 cards in the hand. Say goodbye. Well done. Now, the orange light's going to be randomly added back in the end phase, further adding the Prince. Now, what's quite interesting is a viable way to play Mermail is with no spells and traps outside of Call by the Grave. But we're not playing that way. And because we're not playing that way, we have now increased one of our pillars of what makes a good deck. And that would be Maxi/Fualos Resilience. We are now better against those cards because if they Maxi or Fualos us, we don't end on 0 disruption. We have an Imperm, we have an Impulse. We have double disruption instead of none. Let's see if that works out. Dispersion, Impulse, negate the Dispersion mate. So for example, when Yummy comes out, which is going to be better, Pure Yummy or Mitsurugi Yummy? Well, TCG likes Mitsurugi Yummy, but in TCG there's no Maxi. In OCG, they prefer Pure Yummy. What I could tell you without saying one is better over the other, Pure Yummy is better against Maxi and Fualos. So what's interesting is Mitsurugi Yummy is more hand trap resilient, but less hand trap resilient against Maxi and Fualos. Those are separate categories. Better against hand traps, worse against Maxi and Fualos. And that's what you're gonna have to make the difficult decision of, do you play it with Mitsurugi or do you play it pure? Let's banish, discard as we also Abyss Lachia, discard searching for a Mermail. We're going to Ash, negate, not today, mate. Yeah, also they play Fiendsmith, which that could even be considered a third category, the Silver Bullet category. What's a Silver Bullet for Mitsurugi? Droll. Well, if you play Fiendsmith, you don't lose to Droll. Call to the Grave, fingering the Prince as it attempted to reborn from engrave. Was it activating to reborn? No, we were just banishing it within our end phase. We got orange light or green light, waiting for a spell or monster to activate. If you activate a monster, we can negate and destroy. Now back to us at 1500 life. Hollow Core, is this the play? Ain't no way. All right, let's go. Neprim, Imperm, negate. Not today, mate. We are trying to Foolish Burial, which we do have Foolish Burial itself. Let's send what we wanted from the deck as we send a Neprim. Neprim's going to trigger, reborn itself onto the field by discarding, as we now could Link 2. Fualos before the Link 2. Well, Herald of Orange Light will negate the Fualos mate, triggering the Ava to banish 2 other fairies. Unfortunately, there's only 1 other fairy in grave. Thus, we have an orange light with no other card to discard. Gem Knight Phantom Quartz with no chain link block, but we're not going to ash it. Dispersion is going to search. Did we already ash? We're just not ashing. Okay, no ash. Hollow Core sending the Gem Knight fusion and special summon. Quartz is going to be fusing with the Grave and Banishment to come forth into Seraphonite. As we further link this off into Moon of the Closed Heaven, Moon into Requiem. Requiem, activate now. Can we Ash this? Let's read the Hollow Core. When your opponent activates Ash and you control a Gem Knight fusion, banish 3 Gem Knight cards in the graveyard to negate. We got the 3 Gem Knights. We can negate. That's it, mate. Negate it. Negate with the Hollow Core. It needs to be in the grave? What are you talking about? What? No. Are you mixing up the silver girl? Silver girl needs to banish a fusion, right? Summon the Crimson Tear. Engraver is here. Reborn by returning back the Closed Heaven. Let's turn both into the sequence. Why didn't we Ash earlier? I mean, this was public knowledge. We knew it was in the hand. We didn't Ash the Search. We didn't Ash the Dispersion. Was there another Hollow Core to negate? I'm just kind of confused. We let them set up a Hollow Core to negate the Ash. Huh. Okay. Gigantic Sprite, summon from the deck, Diviner. Diviner is going to be sending Neprum. Let's further make our Sprite Elf. I think Yummy could get Elf banned. Finally. It's had a long run. No one's been able to get it banned yet. But it's Reign of Terror, even though it's not been that relevant. I think that Yummy will be the deck. It is so good in Yummy. I can't freaking believe it. Come forth, Poseidra. Poseidra send from the deck. Dragoons returning back the Seraphonite, at least attempting to do so. Now, Hollow Core will negate, but the Dragoons will still trigger to further search. Negated, boosted, but we are in defense. We have Atlantean Prince, which we're going to Elf Reborn, the Diviner. This is not quick. It's not a trigger effect. You need an open game state to activate it. Well, Diviner can send a card that will disrupt it. What's our disruption? What? We didn't send the Entis, which would pop it. We instead sent, remember, we got Mjolnir banned. We got Christia banned. We now have Aurora Paragon. I thought we needed to have the Abow to summon this, right? Neither player can special summon monsters when another monster is normal summon to either field, destroy this card. How are we using it? Oh, we're not. Okay. All right. I thought correctly. This does nothing. All right, cool. Let's keep on going. Black Sheep for our polymerization. We have no hand traps whatsoever because I believe we're a Chad deck, right? No hand traps in this deck. Correct me if I'm wrong, maybe just 2 Maxis. They have the ability to negate an interaction with the deck. They contribute off the entire field except their own Ligers. The Ligers are completely unaffected by card effects. They can Brangeki the field not once, but twice, only onto special summon monsters. We have the Masquerena, which could Little Knight, banish. Now, ideally, the Masquerena actually goes into an Underworld Goddess against Mikanko. Probably does not play it. Nope, just plays Little Knight. Let's begin. Using up our normal summon on Diviner instead of the Psy Reflector, both are ashable as we attempted to send from the deck to the grave, negate. And we actually missed out on a disruption. In grave, there is the Silver Hound, but it's actually not activatable. When a spell or trap card is activated, you have to banish a Lunalight fusion from the graveyard to negate. So maybe this would be a good card to negate possibly. I have to double read the card, but otherwise to get a fusion in the grave, we have to activate Liger Dancer, but there has to be a special summon monster on the field in order to activate it. Uh-oh. Send from the deck the Hugh Lee to set the Mikanko Water. We're gonna Little Knight banish the Mikanko Water before it activates. Just like that, Banish. Now, we're going to Fire Dance, Reborn the Hugh Lee, and now it's activatable, but the Hugh Lee cannot be destroyed by card effect. Hugh Lee triggering a search for the Mikanko Rivalry. Double-edged sword. Equipped onto the Liger Dancer. Liger Dancer is going to freak out, send a fusion to try to destroy the Hugh Lee, which cannot be destroyed. Now, it's unaffected by the double-edged sword. Okay. We deal 38, and then you deal 38 again. 400 life points. What the? Double-edged sword, double the damage. Not enough for lethal. We do have a diviner in attack position out here. How do we deal with this Hugh Lee? Can't be targeted. Can't be destroyed. And the Spirit Walk is going to target a face-up monster that opponent controls and equip it onto a Mikanko, yoinking up the Yellow Martin. Let's Masquerade, send from the deck, trigger the bird to target the Gold Leo, reborn it back. It is negated though. We have in back row the Tiger to reborn back a monster from engrave to go into Tiger King. Ooh, doesn't this non-target negate the untargetable Hugh Lee? Let's read this. Detach a material without targeting, negate the effects of all face-up effect monsters currently on the field except Beast Warriors. I don't think she's a Beast Warrior. She is not. Now, before that activates, we're going to activate the Rivalry, which the Silver Hound is going to say, ain't no way I'm going to negate. You would target the face-up monster to give it an equip spell, which could take control of it or try to negate it. And now the Hugh Lee is negated. And we tried to destroy her, but even though she's negated, she did not get destroyed. What's going on? Well, it's the equip spell. The equip spell is ensuring that she cannot be destroyed by card effects. Goodbye, Diviner. What? Wait, what's that? Okay, it's just being sent to the graveyard. It's not dealing 2,000 damage. Okay, whoa, it was like activating. I was freaking out. Lethal damage. Not enough for game because the Liger is unaffected by the attack boost of the double-edged sword. It was supposed to give it 2,000 so that we could reflect even more damage. Let's hop in another one. Sword equipped onto the Sanaki, which triggers to summon a Mikanko from the deck. Denied. And with that denied, we end our freaking turn. Does she have any effects while on the field? I don't think she really does anything on the field besides summoning from the deck. Yeah, she does absolutely nothing. We got Red Reboot and Rivalry. Rivalry can negate a monster, which we're doing right now, or we could take control of a monster. Let's Axe of Fools. Negate. Equipped monster is negated. And what did I say? It is devastating to negate a Gold Leo with the Veiler Impermanence, or in this case, an Axe of freaking Fools. Axe of Fools, burn them for 500. We got our Hugh Lee. If we control an equip card, our field's untargetable. Now we're gonna have two effects that are ashable. Ash effect number 1. Or we chain link freaking block. You what, mate? This activates on special summon. That is great. You can't even ash this. Adding back the double-edged sword. Come to me. We got the water, which is another ashable effect. Double-edged sword equipped onto you. Attack number 1, burn for 36 times 2. Attack number 2, lethal damage. Damn. Double attack with the Xyz. Insane. End of the damage step, detach to attack again. Now, if they had no monster on the field, it would save them, right? Nope. We would put the sword onto the Xyz itself. It will still double attack for 8,000 exact damage. Now, Maybach in the first duel was not able to have a Silverhound engrave to negate this with a fusion ready. Did we change up our play to ensure that the Silverhound is ready right away? Yes, we did. This time, different than the other duel, we have a fusion and we have the Silverhound ready to negate their potential first play. So what we gotta do, we gotta bait. We gotta throw out a bunch of bait. Please try to negate something. Oh, I don't want to be negated. I'm going to chain Masquerina. Summon the Little Knight early. Little Knight is here. And now we have to fear the Silverhound negating the ceremony. Banish away the Axe of Fools. We're going to activate it. And he didn't do anything to it, but there's nothing he can really do. Okay. Ceremony send from the deck here. Now, a good question is, a spell activated. Can the Silverhound negate this? Should it have negated this? If not, should it negate the Mikanko dance, reborning the Nini back in the field? Well, let's read the Silverhound real quick. Silverhound states that spell, trap card, or effect is activated on the field. So it does negate the effect, but because it's not happening on the field, it actually can't negate it. Mikanko dance, reborn back the Nini. Can't be destroyed by battle, can't be destroyed by card effects. It is targetable. So we have to be careful with the rivalry. We have to be careful with the Nini. We activate either effect, the Little Knight's gonna banish it off the field. We don't have the Hugh Lee targeting protection. So how do we deal with this? Well, we summon a monster that targets, since you are targetable, to target the Mikanko dance. Nini's going to attempt to take control of the Little Knight, which is not really doing anything. We're going to chain Rivalry to... We can't Axe of Fool negate this, since we already used up our Axe of Fool. I don't think we play more than one. That'd be not so good of an idea. But we're going to Silverhound negate anyway. Negate the Rivalry. And just like that, open field for game. Morisaki, thank you so much for bringing Mikanko into today's event and playing quite well with it. Getting top 16 is great, mate. Let's go. We almost had game one. Almost. Let's see what's good. We'll speed this up, don't worry. Cartesia, normal summon, activate Femina to fuse the hand into Arthalion. Arthalion, target 2 cards engraved to return back. Trigger Malulu and Lucius to set 2 additional cards onto the field. The Cartesia gives the Arthalion protection from a Veiler or Impermanence. Dracotail decks are not playing Impermanence. Dracotail Key2 is going to add from the deck. Rahu is going to fuse in the deck and hand. Now I'm curious. Will Dracotail players make room for Impermanence once Yummy comes out with Herald of the Arclight? The problem is we still can't use Imperm onto Herald of the Arclight because it's going to be right under the Sprite Elf, making it untargetable. Malulu with our hand. Let's fuse into Gulamel. Non-target pop a back row. Non-target negate a monster. Sting, banish away the Urgula before adds back a monster in the grave to our hand. Randomly draw. As we are going to be negating the Cartesia and wiping out the Flame. Just draw 2 Imperm, true. Gulamel, wipe away the key 2 before it's activatable, but we already have a key 2 in hand, so you got baited. As we now fuse into Secretarion, special summon Dragon and spellcasters will not be activatable. Wipe away the Rahu Dracotail with our own Urgula, as key 2 adds the Pan, and on resolution we'll fuse it up. Pan will wipe out the opposing Secretarion Floodgate before we commit to our branded fusion play. Say goodbye as we have our own Secretarion. Using up, using the Veiler in hand with our Rahu, as we're now going to on-summon be activatable due to no longer having a Secretarion to deal with, to return back the opposing Arthalion. Back to the extra deck you go. Gulamel triggering since 2 monsters are sent to the graveyard at the same time. Come back. Now this Gulamel already activated its effect to pop a card in the field. It's no longer a form of disruption. You still have the Horn though. Horn is going to be able to chain link block the Gulamel. Secretarion is reborning back the Lucius. Activate. Cartesia is just chain link blocking the Gulamel. She is negated. As we search our deck for a Femina. Femina is activating to fuse, chaining Gulamel to wiping out the opposing Gulamel. We can't summon a Dracotail off of this Femina. We have no monster in hand. So instead, we're summoning Mysterion to follow up with Branded Fusion. Boy, the power of Dracotail going second is immense, and that is a good thing. We need more non-turn 2 decks to have good go second plays. Something happened here where that was the final duel. I know people really wanted to see more of Dracotail versus Dracotail. I'm so sorry that was the last duel. All right, let's switch into another one. Starting off with the prayers. Come to us. Come forth, Murakumo, searching for the backup Ignister to then search for a Maliss card. I'm so happy that Murad did not just use March Hare with Dormouse. He ensured that he could show us the bridge. Lizard Dose is going to be banishing the White Rabbit. White Rabbit is going to summon. And now, we did all of that. In the lingering effect window, nothing would pop up. Finally, we have a summon lock. And that summon lock was the White Rabbit summoning itself onto the field, which says that you cannot special summon from the extra deck for the rest of the turn except Link monsters, and that is that. Everything else did not inflict us with a lingering effect. How many disruptions do we have? We have the ability to reborn back the Murakumo through 2 different methods, which will activate to wipe away the opposing field and force them to discard. The Firewall's not a disruption, already activated. We can non-target banish, and then we didn't summon Cryptor, that's not in circulation, so we just have 1 non-target banish. And we have an Omni negate anything plus banish. We can finger a card in grave. We can negate a monster on the field with impermanence. We can negate anything with the purification. 7 disruptions, 7. All right, let's go. 7th Tachyon. We have Ryzeal. Let's get rid of the purification. Now we're going to be sending the aggregator to chain link block the Ryzeal from an Ash and also attempt to negate the Ignister. Call with the grave, fingering the aggregator, one of our forms of disruption. The Ryzeal also cannot be negated or banished by the Ignister thanks to the aggregator chain link blocking. Come to us, Node. Now, there's a problem. Node requires an Xyz. It doesn't have to be a certain type of Xyz. It does not have to be a Ryzeal Xyz. And it also doesn't care if there's a Ryzeal on the field or graveyard. There has to be an Xyz on the field or grave to special summon, and they just banished away our aggregator. So we have to make another Xyz. Now, if Murad knows that, if we could just prevent them from Xyzing, then this can't come out for free. It has to be our normal summon. Negate and banish the sword. We have 5 more disruption. Habakiri is going to potentially get negated until we red reboot. Now, part of the 5 disruption was purification, the imperm, the MTP. So that's 3 disruption now gone. Gone away as we negate all of them, flip back down the purification, set another trap from the deck. With those 3 disruptions now being gone, what are we left with? We negated, we can't use any of our traps. We still have Murakumo, field wipe. That's it. 2 more disruption left. That was a huge red reboot. And we're playing red reboot for Dracotail, but it absolutely has dominated Maliss in this matchup, stopping the purification, the impermanence, and the MTP non-target banish. When do we whip out the Murakumo? Come forth, our own Murakumo. We're going to be triggering it on summon and non-target wipe away the opposing field. We're going to Futsu Reborn a Kusanagi that will just get blown up. It's not going to do anything. Okay, wipe the field. The Kusanagi can protect another monster from being destroyed, but not if it's also being destroyed. Prayers will tribute off the Murakumo to search for a Kusanagi, summoning Kusanagi, triggering the in-grave Murakumo plus the Kusanagi to add back the ritual back to our hand. And now we're going to whip out our own Murakumo to wipe away the opposing fields. We still have our normal summon. So with the Ryzeal, here's a... Oh, okay, we got the ritual back to the hand. So Node could send the Habakiri to reborn back the Ryzeal. Wipe the field. If March Hare summons a White Binder to banish the Ryzeal, then the Node has nothing to reborn. That's exactly what we're doing. Reborn, drawn to a Droll, banish. Did not banish the Ryzeal. I mean, he searched for a Node. You know he has Node. Now, you did get rid of the Murakumo. This was public knowledge. You knew he had this. Reborns it back into an Exciton Knight. Oops. Wipe away the field. Force him to discard a card. Now, he had no other card to reborn. That was it, and it was engraved to banish. We allowed, okay, fine, it'll get negated. I'll just activate it again. I don't have to discard a card. Wipe the field. End the turn. Interesting duel so far. What is going on? We're going to tribute off the Exciton Knight for our Wujo, tributing the Aramasa to trigger to grab a Habakiri that cannot activate. But the Murakumo is going to be reborn back with the Purification, tributing off the Wuso on field. Lethal damage. If you reborn Murakumo with prayers, it cannot attack directly, but the Purification does not have that downside. Oh my. Saji, come to me. Mitsurugi Ritual. We do have Impermanence and Fluid Loss. Come forth, Habakiri. Trigger Serpent and Kusanagi to come back with our Ritual. And from here, we are going to Ritual Summon from the deck, which the Ash will negate the Fluid Loss mate. We're holding Imperm for the Ryzeal plays. We have already used up our normal summon, thus the Ice Ryzeal does not have the effect to summon from the deck, which means the Impermanence is being saved for a duo drive. And there it is. Imperm negates, not the effect to attach, but the effect, make sure they're activating to detach on resolution to search the deck. Murakumo, negate, attempt to negate, they just discard mate, and now it goes through. No bridging your way into the Ryzeal as we make a Masquerina, set and pass. Now, even though we got Impermanence, and it was a really well-timed Impermanence, we still have double Little Knight Banish. We do have negate anything with Purification, and then the Murakumo, it's not going to be on our own terms of whenever we want to, but it can come back after negating to then wipe away whatever other cards there are, and we can force them to discard. So you can consider this to be a 4 to 5 form of disruption. Set MTP, banish the March Hare, force them to discard the Crossout Designate. What if Murad was choosing Crossout to discard, but he accidentally activated it instead? It's not what if. I think that just happened. There you go. Has anyone ever tried to Small World banish their Ash Blossom, but they activate Ash Blossom to their Small World instead? Never happened to me, but I've heard that to all of you, I'm sure it happens a lot. Or he actually is negating Murakumo. Wait, I think that was on purpose. What? Okay, there you go. Maybe it was by accident, but then he was like, wait, I could negate him. It's okay. I have a backup in response to my mistake. This got to be a brick. Cyber freaking Sage in hand. Are you out of your mind? Ash, negate the prayers mate. Now, with the prayers negated, we should have full combo with our limited 2-1. We are post-ban list. TB. Why is this a full combo? Because Splash Mage is not banned. Return nothing back. What the heck? This says up to the number of co-linked to this card. Nothing is co-linked to this card. Okay. We do have the ability to negate anything. And prayers can reborn a Murakumo that's not there, so that's not a disruption. I'm confused. Do we literally just have negate and that's it? I think so. We have no other disruption. We can't non-target banish, we can't Murakumo wipe, we can't return a monster back, we just have negate. You know, we could banish the binder to then banish a card from their grave if you want to count that as a disruption. So we used up our negate and we could still banish from their grave. We could draw into a hand trap, that's something. Murakumo is here. Kusanagi, add back the ritual. And we got Murakumo activating to non-target, wipe away the field. Serpent come out. Kusanagi, add back the ritual. as we have normal summon ice, summon from the deck. I don't think banishing from the grave is going to be so great. We're going to activate prayers to search for an Aramasa. We're going to Fua loss, sure. You would now have to discard a card to resolve the Fua. I'll gladly discard the Aramasa, which we had to, you know, make room to even be able to activate the Fua loss. So, that's the reason why we did it. We are now going to do our final form of disruption. Drawing into an impermanence, which is not good, obviously, because it can't be activated. Nothing worthy of banishing from the opponent's graveyard. We are at 0 disruption. We, in fact, only had the ability to negate, and that was that. Mate, let's finish the duel, right? Well, we are under the effect of Fua loss, so maybe we want to be careful. They did randomly draw into a ritual here. We're going in. Detonate. We have cross in case they draw into a good hand trap. They do have the ability to essentially kaiju one of our monsters. Let's node Ryzeal, Reborn back, Dugaris. Dugaris is going to go for the double attack play, 6,400 attack on the Murakumo. Now the March Hare is making the White Binder untargetable, now it can be targeted. The Dormouse is making it so it can't be destroyed by card effect, it can now be destroyed by card effect. Say goodbye to the Chessie. 4,100 damage, lethal with the detonate. Damn. So how does Imperm work with an attack boost? If your attack boost is affecting other monsters, then it cannot be negated by impermanence after the fact. If the attack boost is only affecting yourself and then you imperm afterward, then you would lose the attack boost. So in this case, is Murakumo boosting up itself? No. So then that means impermanence would not be able to stop it. All right. Let's see. So if you access code Talker, it's boosting itself, nothing else. If you use the rank 3 Xyz, it's like a Bumblebee, I forget what it's called. It boosts up itself plus other monsters. Thus, if you imperm afterward, it will not lose the boost. And that is it for the top 16 as we now advance into the top 8 grand finale and top deck list, where in the next video, we're going to have Lunalight, the unstoppable furry-thighed Liger Dancer is coming. Come with me in the next video. Let's do it.